I don't think Cascade deletes are evil. I think people just don't understand them, what they do. They're really effective what they do, and what they do is delete data.
G'day team, Adam Cogan here, and I'm here with Matt Wicks. How are you, Matt?
Not bad, Neon.
Excellent. So I want to tell you advice I give to young developers, and I want to check if it's in line with you.
Hit me.
Okay. So one of the things that I explain, if they're just, like data is king. Data is so important. I don't want to lose records, lose data. Like I even start with their file system. If they're on their machine, I tell them to ZZ a file, don't delete it yet. Obviously, if they're in a source control system like GitHub, delete, don't ZZ because we've
got the commit history.
Yes, and same story with SharePoint. Delete the files. We don't need version numbers on files, etc.
Yep.
Now, when we get to databases, I say I don't like Cascade delete. I'm cool with Cascade updates.
Yep.
Cascade delete is evil, and don't turn it on. If a product owner does want it on, that's fine, that's their decision. But just make sure you send an email that you want it on. I'm prepared to put users through a lot of pain. So I'll give them a screen, like an order screen, and they have to go through and delete each individual order detail, delete, 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 before they're allowed to delete the main order. Concur?
I have one disagreement with you. I don't think Cascade deletes are evil. I think people just don't understand them, what they do. They're really effective what they do, and what they do is delete data. So if you want to make sure that you don't delete the data, don't use Cascade delete.
Yes.
Which is kind of what you're saying as well.
Okay, so I think we agree.
Yes,
Okay.
file an agreement.
All right. One of the things I learnt a long time ago was when we were doing VB6 applications. I was an MVP, and Microsoft told us that the JET database is done. We're not making any changes to that. And then at a certain point, a year later, we found out about a bookmark bug where you could go to a certain record, go to another record, and then delete something. It deleted the other one. And it was such an esoteric type of problem, but we were all shocked by it, that it could be there and had been there for so long. I thought, oh, Microsoft won't fix it because they already told us it was in maintenance mode. And then they went back and pulled people off and did this emergency fix and released it. And that's the point that I realized any type of data bug is incredibly important.
Yes.
So if a young dev has a problem like a concurrency bug where somebody's thought they saved a record and somebody else's record clobbered it or whatever, that type of stuff is like top priority. You can't have that because people lose trust in the system.
Definitely.
Yeah, agree with that?
Complete agreement.
Okay. And the third thing I might mention is a UI type of bug. A UI type of bug where, and this happened on a recent project, where they went to a certain approval screen and they checked on a checkbox and it accidentally changed a few prior records because of a checkbox. And it wasn't in the database, it was just a UI type of bug, but it essentially lost records that they didn't see that they were doing. And so the developer thought, oh, that's a bug. I'll put it on the backlog and it's just a normal item. But what could have happened is somebody comes along and it checks on and there's hundreds of approvals there and they get lost. So I'd explain to them, this isn't like a normal bug.
No.
This is like a top level bug.
It kind of sounds like that checkbox was rewriting history, which is super bad, especially if it was dealing with invoices, because then that could throw out, I don't know how many records, but it could, accountants can tear their hair out trying to track down like what would have gone wrong if that would have occurred.
And have you had to explain this yourself to youngsters? And obviously we're in agreement, but do you encounter people where you have to teach this stuff to?
It happens. I take the point that, like Cascade deletes make things easier, but the problem is it also makes it easier to do the wrong thing. So just having a check and balance in there where you need to explicitly go through and delete the child records that you really want to delete makes life a lot easier, especially if you delete some high-level record and the cascade effect, it would be, catastrophic.
Yeah. Now, on that, and a related thing, if there are, records, that thousands of records, and they say, this is crazy, you have to give us a button to delete them all. They pop in there, we should be able to pop them out. Do you allow for that?
Generally, just have a soft delete. So you put an extra column in the database, is deleted, by default it's 0. When it gets deleted, it becomes 1. And then I put a query filter in Entity Framework to say, hey, look, when you query this table, only return things where the value is 0.
Yes.
Is deleted equals 0.
Soft delete is an awesome solution. Now, if you don't have that as an option, because sometimes they're just log files, incredibly large, I will say you give them like if they were auto-generated, they should be able to be deleted in a range. So you give them basically a pop-up, just don't delete it. Say you're going to delete 1,200 records. The exception I kind of like to make is if somebody manually typed in something, like if some of those records have some comments, I would say somehow try to raise that up. Let them know there's 10 records here with comments.
Yep.
So something on the UI. Do you want to delete them all, or all including the comments?
It's funny you say that. I play Pokemon Go, and sometimes you can find Pokemon and then you can transfer them because you can only hold so many Pokemon at a time. And certain Pokemon, when you do that, it says, hey, this is maybe a special event Pokemon or something like that. Are you sure? And if you select like 10 or so, or you select multiple and do it, and it says, hey, look, some of them are special. Are you sure you really want to, transfer them? Because you lose them. They may not be available anymore. They may be a one-off, but it does the exact same thing. So it doesn't matter if it's a financial system or Pokemon Go. The same user experience is great.
Oh, awesome. Well, that conversation went in a strange direction. Awesome. Thanks, Matt, for your opinions. If you have any comments yourself on advice you give to youngsters on how to respect data, like as a top level thing in application development, throw it down there in the comments. We're always keen to learn. And this is Adam Cogan signing off for SSW TV.